Guys, it's me. It's Queen Oseharu, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Well, after yesterday's video, somebody asked me about celibacy. Several somebodies asked me about celibacy, and they wanted to know, what's the deal with people. They said they've talked to a lot of people, and they've decided to stay celibate, male and female. And they asked me what that was about. It's not everybody, of course, but they've heard it commonly and wonder, why does that happen? Celibacy is not anything new. Celibacy has been going on since the beginning of time. There are always people who decide, for one reason or another, not to be sexually active. Whether it be pregnancy or spiritual or emotional or whatever, it's very common throughout history for lots of different reasons. The monks, the priests, the priestesses, the nuns, the list goes on and on of people who have taken a literal vow of celibacy, or who have just decided, I'm not going to have sex anymore, or not going to have it at all. Some people have never had sex. Just because they don't tell you, they might even be lying about it. You never know. Some people, that's just something that they choose not to do for emotional, mental, spiritual, different reasons. You don't have to have sex. You can have sex if you want to. So let's talk about why some people choose to be celibate. So in modern times, a lot of people have chose to be celibate, myself being one of them, because one of the things that happens as you get older and more mature is you realize that sex is not just sex. It's not just physical. It's not just like going to the gym. It's not just like physical maintenance, getting your teeth clean. It's not that kind of thing. Sex has physical, spiritual, emotional, and mental implications. And the older you get, the more mature you get, the more you realize that. So what happens over time is either you as you're realizing this, either you continue to do what you're doing, or sometimes people decide to use that energy in another way. Now, I can't speak for everybody, but I'll speak for myself. I got to a space where I just felt like my sexual energy could be used in, my spiritual work, readings, things along those lines, meditation. I just realized that I was, in my opinion, wasting my chi. I was wasting it on sexual experiences when I could be using it for some stuff that really could help me and could really get me somewhere, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. So I looked around one day and I was just like, I don't know. Like I said, as you start to get older, you realize that sex isn't just physical. So as I started to realize that, my partners were just, I don't know, just in my opinion, unnecessary. And I could, like I said, use that energy for something else. So that's what I did. I just used it for my spiritual work. And a lot of people do that. Some people do it because they're out there in the dating game and they're unhappy. They're unhappy with the dating game. They're unhappy with the sexual aspect of it, or the whole aspect of it. So they just decide not to have sex until they meet somebody that they really want to be with. We're all a little bit different in that way. Likewise, some people like sex. They love it. They love their sexual expression, and they continue doing it. And I don't think it's a problem. I think that if you have a healthy sex life, meaning that you're having healthy relationships with people, I think that it's okay to have sex. I just think that you have to be careful. Having sex is something that you have to go in with your eyes wide open. You have to understand what you're doing. You have to understand that it's not just a physical thing. You have to understand that you're absorbing another person's energy into you. And if it's a decent person and you have a decent relationship, you can have sex with them and everything be fine. But if they're not a decent person and your relationship is dysfunctional, for example, abusive, for example, exploitative in some kind of way, then the sex is not adding to your life, it's taking away from it. And that's the only problem that I have with it, is that a lot of people who come to me, their sex lives are fucked up. You know, they're having sex with people or persons, in some cases just one person, who just aren't right for them. Somebody who isn't treating them the way that they deserve to be treated. And they're settling because they think they need sex. And that's where my discrepancy comes in at, because I'm like, no, you don't need sex to the point where you have to just put up with somebody who's not even worth your time just to get it. That's where my issue comes in at. If you're having sex with somebody and it's a decent person, a good person, you have a healthy relationship with this person, then by all means enjoy yourself. But it's not like that with so many people that I talk to. So many people I talk to start off the conversation with, I'm having sex with blank and he or she ain't shit. That's usually the first sentence. And I'm like, well, then why are you having sex with them? If you know that they ain't shit, if you know that this person is not a good person, if you know they got bad energy, pessimistic energy, whatever the problem is you're dealing with this person, and you know that, then why are you continuing to have sex with them? And most of them will then say to me, oh, because it's good sex. So you mean to tell me that you are allowing yourself to be around somebody that you've identified as dangerous in some way because you feel like you have to fulfill this urge? You can fulfill that urge by your damn self. You don't have to fulfill it with a messed up person. Or you can just find a better person, you see. So I think that a lot of people, when I talk to them about sex, I think they miss that part. That particular part is missed. Likewise, I was saying earlier, you don't have to have sex. It's up to you if you choose to have sex with yourself or with others. You don't have to. Lots of people choose not to. And that's okay too. It's not weird or unusual because you don't really want to have sex. Sometimes it is tied into illnesses, for example, depression. Sometimes a person will stop wanting to have sex when they feel like they're in a depression. But healthy people stop having sex too. Some people, like I said, just realize that their sex life is empty because they're, like Luther Vandross said, we got along just fine, but was wasting time because she is not you. Yeah, you get along just fine, sex is okay, but you're wasting time because that's not your person. That's just some person you spending time with and getting off with. And for some of us, that's not going to be enough. For some of us, we're going to start to feel empty in these spaces and not want to do it no more. That's exactly what happened with me. I just felt like this is pointless. And I can use this in a much better way. So that's the deal with celibacy. Some people just choose to use that energy in another way. Some people just choose to pull their energy back. Some people do it for emotional reasons because they know that emotionally they don't want to connect with another person right now. There's a lot of different reasons for it. But the bottom line is that if you're having sex or not is up to you. Just make sure if you are, that is safe. Is physically safe, meaning that you're using some kind of protection, you're not having unwanted pregnancies or STDs, and likewise is safe in the sense that you're having sex with a person that's functional and decent and whose energy is not ugly and bad and absorbing it is not doing something to you. Okay? Because that's the problems that we see associated with being sexually active. So if you're celibate and that's the way you want to live right now until you get to whatever space you're going to, that's all good. Okay? Let me know your thoughts about sexuality and celibacy in the comments. I would love to hear from you guys as well. All right, guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you know people that are wondering about this, please pass this video on to them. And please come back soon because I have a lot more to say. Look underneath this video for all the information you need to contact me, to get a reading, to leave me a love donation, to leave me a gift, or to, let me see what else is underneath there. To locate me on social media. See you later.